Hey everybody, what's up? Circus here coming at you with this week's power rankings video, and it's an exciting one because there's been kind of a little bit of a shakeup in the meta, and I'm so excited about it that I brought in my boy Kamel here, looking very dapper in that hat. How you doing?
Doing great, man. And I was told I should bring a hat, so I came prepared. We'll see
Our,
what we
our,
got.
all right, we'll get to that in a second. If you're new to the series, what we do here is we track tournaments and decks during the week, and we see how the decks perform in the tournaments, and then we assign them points and rank them to see who's the best one of the week. So the way it works is if a deck gets a first place finish, it'll get 6 points. A second place finish, it'll get 4 points. A top 4 is 2 points, and a top 8 is a single point. And the tournaments that we track are all rounds of Swiss into a top cut, and then they can play. You can play one deck with a 5-card side, and then you can side in a skill. Okay, so the tournaments that met that criteria this week were. Then there are 12 of them. Check this out: the Battle Phase Series, the Meta Weekly, the Pharaoh's Cash Tournament, the Duel Pro Series, the God Meta Weekly, the LE Hotel Cup, and the Duel World Pro Series. So whoever said there isn't room for other tournaments besides the Battle Phase Series is just crazy. That's all I'm saying. There's plenty of room for tournaments out there.
I don't know what that guy was talking about.
Yeah, that guy's crazy. All right, so Kamel, all those tournaments, all that data. Let's see who's in first place. Are you hungry? I hope you're hungry, buddy. Because in first
Oh,
place
say it isn't so.
with 32 points,
Say it isn't so. Oh
Shiranui.
no!
Oh, here he goes. Oh,
Oh,
oh my God. Look, he's got a big bite of that thing. Look how delicious it looks.
oh, oh
Oh
man,
man.
I had to do it.
Yeah, in case you didn't know, about a month or two ago after the Shiranui hit, we said that Shiranui's dead. It's never coming back. And there was a guy in our comments on one of the videos that said, "Mark my words, Shiranui's not dead." And Kamel's just like, "Dude, you don't know what you're talking
So
about."
it only took 2 months for Shiranui to reclaim their spot at the top, but
Two
they
weeks in a row
finally
now, yeah.
2 weeks in a row, Shiranui have done it. But I want to say that because of the large influx of tournaments, that greatly contributed to Shiranui's uh, newfound success. So let's get into their breakdown because
Well, hang
while
on
it
just a
looks
second. I really want to point at fourth place. Look at fourth place.
yes,
Kara Curry. That was the shakeup
new
I was
deck.
talking about. Yeah, we'll get into that, but I
Well,
really wanted
not
to
a new
point that
deck,
out
but
because that's huge in its first week scoring that many points. So yeah, let's get into
mm,
Shiranui though.
yeah, for sure. Let's get right into it. Shiranui only picking up a single tournament win, and is this the winning list from Anti-Phase last
Yes, it
week?
is. Yep.
All right, so this list looking pretty strange, even though it won a lot of one-ofs in the main deck. However, you can see just the outrageous number of top 4 and top 8 finishes really contributed to
Yeah,
Shiranui
crazy.
getting those points over Invoke Neos this week. But yeah, honestly, this Shiranui deck looks bonkers.
He's
Honestly,
just
this
trying
guy,
to get something into the grave, just trying to get
he's
his
playing around
tuners into the
everything.
grave.
Yeah, he's got Gozuki, Sam Skull, and then he's got the one of Lance and Chalice. He's coming prepared for any matchup, so no surprise he won.
Yeah, let's take a look at the conversion rate. So numbers are way up this week just because there's so many tournaments. But check this out: 124 representation. That's pretty good. That's a
That is
lot.
good. That's a lot more than they had last week,
Yep.
almost like a 25% increase, something like that. And then their top 32 conversion rates, and Shiranui have finally done it, 10% conversion rate.
I know that's
I don't
unreal.
think we've ever seen that before
It's
from
never
from
been
them,
that
to be
high.
honest.
Yeah. So congratulations, Shiranui. You're not just a deck for new players.
Yeah, for real. And I think, the strength of Shiranui is now showing just because we've been in a new card drought for so long. Shiranui are still coming through with that tried and true method, back row plus powerful graveyard, extra deck summoning. Honestly, it's the combination for victory in Duel Links right now.
I was surprised this guy played so many monsters, to be honest. I know Lancia doesn't really count. It's more like a hand trap or whatever. But still, 9 to 10 monsters is quite a bit for this deck.
Yeah, usually just trimming it down to your base Shiranui monsters, But Gozuki and Samurai Skull, very, very good when you are looking at just always needing to get a monster in the grave. So many other effects can be negated or dealt with by other cards, like chain disappearance, stuff like that. So you just being able to get things straight into the grave is very important.
Yeah. All right, moving on to second place here. This is not really a surprise, but last week they didn't even make the power rankings. This week, Invoke Neos is back and with a vengeance. Look at that. 3 tournament victories this week.
Yeah, so I have a question. 3 tournament victories, but they didn't do as well as Shiranui?
I
Well,
know, crazy, huh?
you could definitely see the difference in the amount of tops this week
Yep.
for Invoke Neos. They do not have anywhere as near as many top 4 and top 8 finishes as Shiranui did, and that is where those extra points came in clutch. And Invoke Neos, while it has proved to be very good, very effective, the deck has not changed at all. And
No.
its counters are now very well known, and people are playing around them, siding them, and altering their playstyles so that they don't fall victim to Invoke Neos in tournaments. So it kind of suffered from that tier 1 effect. You know,
Mhm.
when you are the sole tier 1 deck, everyone will quickly learn how to play around you.
Well, as we saw last week, there just wasn't the representation, and we can kind of take a look at that here. This week, check out this representation.
Boom! That is
Yeah.
insane. 155 representation. I think this is the first time that Shiranui has had less represent has when Shiranui was not in the place that Shiranui
Right.
usually is,
Yeah,
right?
it's
This is
crazy,
the
huh?
new Shiranui. Overwhelming representation, but just not enough overall tops in tournaments. Yes, it did get 3 tournament wins, but when you're looking at a deck's strength in a week, you need altogether how many people
Yeah.
made it into the top 8, how many people made it into the top 32. And as you can see, a lot of these players who's picked up Invoke Neos, they may have joined the party a little bit late, and they're not succeeding with the deck now. Now that the rest of the tournament community kind of knows, I've got to bring my battle traps, I've got to bring my wall of D,
Yeah.
you know, I've got to bring all this stuff to stop Invoke Neos in their tracks.
Yeah, it's a
And
tough.
look, I was just gonna say, look at their conversion rate, four
Yeah.
percent,
Well, yeah,
man.
when you have this many people playing it, this is what's going to
Yeah,
happen.
yeah.
But
Hmm.
they're Invoke Neo's doing what it does. I mean, it goes in tournaments and it wins. It's all
Yes.
in.
The Even though if you do have this deck, and firstly, if you have this deck, you just recently got it, you should be praying to Konami that they don't hit Shell 2. And then you should think, if this is the deck I have, this is what I want to play. You got to think, how am I going to play around how people are playing around me,
Right.
so that I can get to the top 8, because
Yep.
uh, people know your strategies now. So now you got to reinvent the wheel.
How do I get around the get around? Yep. Okay,
Mm.
moving on to third place. This deck that finally, if it's tiered, I will finally agree with it. Finally, after all this time, Runz, look at this, actually winning
Look at
tournaments,
that.
actually getting points. Who would have thought?
And we were talking about it last week and the week before. This new build of Crystron's up on screen right now, with the Psychic Wielders focusing on the level 6 synchros in Coral Dragon and Bryonac. This is very, very powerful. Uh, Mystic Depths, not all the Crystron lists that we saw this week that won were using SSA. Some were even just using Genix Undyne to turbo out your other Crystron so that you can get
Mhm.
going. But SSA, also a very effective strategy, but it is not necessary in order to succeed. But in I want to say anti-phase and the battle phase pop up on Tuesday, we got to saw really the explosive power of Citadel Whale and Cease Stealth Attack. So many decks in the meta right now are not equipped to deal with that combination.
Yeah, it's just it's become such a stronger deck. And before it was, this is the best deck on paper. Now it's like, well, this might become one of the best decks if it got more
It might actually,
representation. Because if we
for sure.
check out the representation here, is just lower than everything else. 28 people
Yes,
played it this week,
straight up
so it's just
28. I think this might qualify for the best representation this week. 21% conversion rate into the power rankings
That's
with
huge. Yeah.
28 decks. That is massive. Crystron's before were always known as like a high skill ceiling deck. The better that you understand the deck, the better you will do. But now I think that this deck actually has a solid place in the meta. And if you
Yep.
do master the deck, you will be rewarded a lot. But keep in mind, Crystron's extremely expensive. Genix Undone, a main box, you need 3 of them.
Oh, the
Citadel
whole thing.
Whale,
Yeah, the whole
another
thing.
main box. You need that engine, and Crystron's again, it's an investment. So if you have the cards, take a look into it. If you don't, may not be the best path for you.
Right, and all their synchros now too, because you got to get
Yeah,
Bryonic, you got to get the
you
Coral
gotta get
Dragon.
these.
Yeah.
A lot more expensive synchros are a part of the main deck now for you to succeed. All of them URs.
Yep.
Yeah, so
But look at that
take
conversion rate. That's about as good as it gets.
21%. That's massive.
All right, now finally moving on to the deck that we all been waiting for. New meta watch, right? Karakuri. There you go. They're back, baby. And they're playing a lot of Karakuri cards in there. Not like Shiranui, where they play 2 Shiranui cards and the rest are not archetype specific. Look at all this stuff in there.
Yeah, so let's talk about it. You and Rye actually did a great video breaking down Karakuri, and Karakuri have come a long, long way, right? We got a couple support cards from them in the past, that being the burrito that you now play in the Extra Dex SR.
Yep.
But the new cards, Kunamazan and Karakuri Cash In, they are extremely powerful. You being able to special summon a tuner from the hand, a level 5 tuner at that, that was Karakuri's biggest weakness. Your path to a level 7 or a level 8 monster was impossible to get in your opening hand, especially if you were focusing around the 2 main monsters, Ninishi and Inasichi. But now you have a level 5 tuner that you can get out without the use of level augmentation. Some people still opting to play level augmentation just to make sure you always have access to all of your synchro monsters. But now you can opt to play something else instead, like a consistency skill like Restart, because you may not need the level augmentation.
Yeah, and if you check it out, Battle Phase EU, it was a mirror match
Yes,
for
it was a mirror
Karakuri's.
match in the finals. And if for those of you who don't really know what Karakuris do, don't really know how they operate, Karakuris really succeed from getting a lot of draw power from chain synchro summoning. When you
Mhm.
synchro summon the beret, you get to special summon another Karakuri monster from your deck, and that's when you bring out you make a synchro play for the burrito. The burrito helps you draw, and then if you're playing Karakuri Anatomy, which is not listed here, you also draw 1 card for each time you switch a Karakuri into defense. So
Right.
that lets you draw a lot, and then with all that draw power, it makes it very easy for you to draw your tech cards, which in this case are the Karma Cut, the Hatronate, and the Herald of the Abyss, the cards that you need to pop off with in your final turn to remove your opponent's threats before you go in. So
No,
yeah, really. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say that was the problem with the old Karakuri deck is the engine or the core was a lot bigger, and there wasn't as room
Yeah.
for text. So you'd sit and you draw into. You could draw, but you weren't really drawing into much. You might draw. You might have
Right.
like 1 or 2 econ in the deck or something, and there wasn't like a lot of ways to draw into a win con, and that was what was slowing it down before.
Yeah, like their main method of drawing was Karakuri Anatomy, and that was it. And then your win con would still be to draw into your text, but it was a lot harder because your engine was so big, right? You were playing, I believe the other guys called Nispachi, and you're
Yeah,
also playing a lot more of the level 4 Nisamu so that you could survive. But now with Kunamzan and Cash In, you do not have to do that. Karakuri Cash In, the trap card, is also very powerful. You can banish it from the grave, switch your opponent's monsters into defense. It's a quick effect that is ridiculous.
yeah, that's
So
great.
the deck is honestly very powerful right now.
Let's check out the conversion rates on this thing. It only got played 53 times. I guess it's a new deck, but look at top 32 conversion rate of 36, then to the top 8 is
100%,
8%. So
not bad for
yeah,
its first week in the power rankings. And I have to say, this is a deck that a lot of newer players definitely don't have, right?
Right.
Karakuri's came out um, New Year's Day 2019. They released with
Okay.
Kawaki Miru. So if you were around for that meta, you have everything in this picture except Cash In, Kunamzan, and Burrito. So if you're a returning player of Karakuri's, those are the things that you have to go for. And of course, you need your powerful cards. Karma Cut, Hate Your Nade, Herald of the Abyss. The Lance is also very important in making sure your synchro summons do not get interrupted by cards like Floodgate, Canadia, and that you don't get easily removed by cards like Karma Cut.
And this is great for a new deck because I think the last one that was really impactful was probably Witchcrafters. And it took a month or better, 6 weeks, to finally make its way up into the power rankings. Each week slowly moving up, where Karakuri, bam, fourth place first week. So think about that when you're choosing your deck.
Yeah, I will say that the players that have played Karakuris, though, they are very skilled players. I believe Gweezy Duck, a longtime member of the community, doing very well in Battle Phase events. I believe he was the runner-up for Battle Phase EU. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but yeah, Karakuri is doing really well first week.
All right. We can almost skip the next one because it is what it is.
What is it?
Element Sabers. Here we go again. Fifth place, down a spot from last week. 20
Yeah,
points.
we'll sum it up really quick. They didn't get a win. They got a couple more points. Let's go into the conversion rates.
There you go. I mean, pretty good conversion rate. I mean,
Yeah,
it is what it is. Look at that thing. It's only running like 8 monsters, and then the rest is all dispels and traps. So there you go.
E-Sabers is E-Sabers, and we're coming up in 20 days. Element Sabers will have been around in the meta for 1 full year, so we'll have a little birthday party for Element Sabers,
Yeah.
just to send them off when we get into
Get
Zixer
out of
World. Hopefully they're
here.
not around
Yeah.
anymore.
All right, so why don't we do at a glance here from the past week? Overall representation, Invoke Neos with the most at 155, followed by Shiranui. Witchcrafters, 100 people playing Blue Eyes. I was like, really? They didn't really score a lot of points this week. Barely relevant. E-Sabers, Blackwings, Dark Magician. Karakuri, I expect to see a little bit more of next week. Tri-Mid's way down there. Weather Painters, I was surprised it was that many. Valkyries, 12 people. I was surprised there was that many. Dragoonity at 9. That deck is definitely dropping off. The three
Yeah,
people that play it,
definitely.
Right?
Honestly, yeah, Drake Unity just does not have the strength. And like you said, Karakuri, I really hope to see it get a lot more players next week. Really fun deck to watch.
All right. Conversion rates. Best one this week, Chris Drons, followed by Cyber Dragons, who did get a win this week.
Oh,
We'll see that in
yeah,
the
they won in the LA Hotel.
Element Sabers, Blackwings, Goki, Shiranui, Karakuri, Triamids with a pretty good conversion rate. Witchcrafters, Blue Eyes, Ritual Beast, Dark Magician, Neos, and Heroes. Look at Heroes, 2%. There you go, buddy.
Oh
Top 8
man.
finishes. Who got the most top 8 finishes this week? Shiranui with 12, followed by E-Sabers, Blackwings, Cristrons, Neos, Witchcrafters. You can see the rest. Infernity making a single top 8. There you go. Megaliths, too. Look at that. 2 of them. I was surprised at that. Megaliths. All right. And the most victories this week. Invoke Neos with 3, Cristrons with 2, Cyber Dragons with 2, Karakuri with 2, Shiranui, Witchcrafters, and Dark Magician all with 1. So there you go. Cyber Dragons with 2 victories this week. Not bad at all.
Yeah, I know. I know you guys get angry when we don't talk about Cyber Dragons, but if you have the deck, give it a shot, man. See how you can manipulate it. I know Cyber Dragons did take a big hit, but
They were
they
just
can still
outside.
do stuff.
They were just outside that range where we talk about them. We usually do the
Right.
top 5, and
Yeah.
they were 6th place. You just had to get one more win, just one more win.
Right.
So that's it for this week. Any predictions for next week?
I would like to see Karakuris do better. A lot more people need to play them. They have very good matchups into a lot of the meta decks. They have a very tight engine now, which means they have insane access to Hate Trunade and Karma Cut, both cards that absolutely demolish the meta right now. If you can draw a Hate Trunade from your Karakuri draw power and bounce back 3 back row, nothing's gonna stop you, man. I really want to see Karakuri snag a top 3 spot this coming week.
I'm gonna do a dark horse pick. I'm gonna say Super Heavy Samurai wins a tournament.
Oh God.
Wins
Oh
a tournament. You see,
God.
it's got
If you
4
guys
points
don't
on the
know,
list
runner
here.
up.
It took second place. We're going all the way, baby. Super Heavy System for the win.
Yeah, look at if you go in the Duel Links Entertainment Discord, you can see the deck list of all of the top 8 players from each of the Battle Phase tournaments this week, including Super Heavy Samurai.
Yeah, a full graduate
Make
of the
sure you
system,
get
man. Full graduate of the
make sure
system.
make sure you get in the Duel Links Entertainment Discord. That is where we are posting all of our tournament results now, top 8, and the breakdowns for each event. So if you ever want to see how a certain deck did in a certain tournament, that is the place to be.
All right. I hope you guys like this video. I know I always have fun doing them, and I'm excited that Kara Curry is here shaking up the meta a little bit. So we're going to get out of here. That's all there is to it. I'm Circus. That's Kamel.
Peace out, guys.
See ya.